Hello friends, welcome to Law and GK. So friends, on this channel we discuss the contents of law and previous year papers of judicial services and other legal exams. And friends, in today's video we are going to discuss the preliminary exam paper of All India Bar Examination AIBE 15. I hope कि ये वीडियोस आपके लिए बड़ी यूजफुल रहेंगी. So friends, if you are preparing for judicial services, this channel will be very useful for you. आपके लिए बड़ा ही बेनिफिशियल रहेगा. एंड अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो जरूर लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ. एंड डोंट फॉरगेट टू सब्सक्राइब दी चैनल. एंड व्हाइल सब्सक्राइबिंग डोंट फॉरगेट टू प्रेस दी बेल आइकॉन so that you can get the notification of our upcoming videos. And अगर आपको हमारे efforts अच्छे लगे हो तो in addition to like and subscribe, kindly give us a super thanks. Super thanks is a way to appreciate the content creator. आप जो है जो भी कंटेंट बनाता है उसको अप्रिशिएट करने के लिए आप जितना भी अमाउंट चाहें डोनेट कर सकते हैं. मिनिमम इज 40 रुपीज. So don't forget to give us a super thanks. So let's move to the question paper. So question number 1 is Section 66A of Information Technology Act was held unconstitutional in case of which case was it? It was Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. C is the answer. Next is 2. A teacher is not a workman within the purview of Industrial Dispute Act held in case of A. Sundarpal versus Government of Goa. C is the answer. Next is 3. According to Factories Act, child means a person who has not completed his 15 years of age. A is the answer. और ये definition कहाँ पर लिखी हुई है? In section 2C of Factories Act. Next is 4. The unilateral moral law and rules do not become part of Arbitration Act so as to become an aid to construe the provision of the Act held in case of Union of India versus East Coast Boat Builders and Engineers Limited. A is the answer. Next is 5. According to Section 7 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, an arbitration agreement is in writing if it is contained in a document signed by the parties या फिर an exchange of letters, telex, telegram या फिर telecommunication which provides a record of the agreement या फिर an agreement of the statement of claim and defense in which the existence of the agreement is alleged by one party and not denied by the other. तो सारी ही हो गई ये. तो फिर D is the answer. Next 6. Waiver of right to object deviance from arbitration agreement is mentioned under which section? It is section 4 of the Arbitration Act. B is the answer. Next is 7. A intentionally and falsely lead B to believe that certain land belongs to A and thereby induces B to buy and pay for it. The land after becomes property of A and A seeks to set aside sale on the ground that at time of sale he had no title. He will not be allowed to prove his want of title. Which section of the Evidence Act is applicable? Section 115. कैसे? That is estoppel. Rule of estoppel लग जाएगा यहाँ पर. तो C इसका आंसर रहेगा. Next is 8. The Arbitration Act 1996 repeals Arbitration Act 1940, Arbitration Protocol Convention, Foreign Awards 1960 सारे कर दिए थे इससे. तो फिर ये D इसका आंसर रहेगा. All of the above. Next is 9. Section 265A to 265L, Chapter 21A of the CRPC deals with the concept of plea bargaining. D is the answer. Next is 10. Security for good behavior from habitual offender is dealt under Section 110. B is the answer. Next is 11. XYZ jointly promises to pay A an amount of rupees 50,000. Subsequently, X and Y became untraceable. Can A compel Z to pay? Yes, he can compel. A can under section 43 या फिर 49. Section 43 para 1 किसका? Of Contract Act. Next is 12. Delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose upon a contract that they shall, when the purpose is accomplished, be returned or disposed of according to the direction of the person delivering them. This process is termed as bailment. B is the answer. कहाँ प्रोवाइड किया गया है ये? Section 148 Contract Act में. Next 13, Section 14A, inserted by the Specific Relief Act 2018, relates to power of court to engage expert. A is the answer. ये इस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ स्पेशल कोर्ट कहाँ पर है? ये है 20B, एक्सपीडियस डिस्पोजल ऑफ केसेस, ये है 20C, एंड स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस विद रिगार्ड टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, इट इज सेक्शन 10. Next is 14, Parliament may by law establish administrative tribunal under section 323A. B is the answer. Next 15, the Bar Council of India has to lay down the standards of professional conduct and etiquette for the advocates under which section? 71B of the Act. B is the answer. Next is 16, according to section 49 of the Advocates Act, the Bar Council of India has power to make rules regarding qualification for membership of a bar council and its qualification, class or category of person entitled to be enrolled, standards of the legal education to be observed by universities. All of the above. D is the answer. Next 17, requisites of a valid adoption. No adoption shall be valid unless the person adopting has the capacity and also the right to take in adoption. Is it correct? Second, the person giving in adoption has the capacity to do so. Yes. The person adopted is capable of being taken in adoption. Yes, it is also correct. The adoption is made in compliance with the other conditions. It is also correct. ये कहाँ मेंशन किया गया है? इसकी सेक्शन 6 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. A is the answer. Next is 18, according to Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019, any pronouncement of talaq as defined under the act by the Muslim husband upon wife by words either spoken or written or in electronic form or in other manner whatsoever shall be void, cognizable and compoundable. All of the above. D is the answer. Next is 19, the Hindu Succession Amendment Act of 2005 provides for women capacity right at par with men. Is correct. Inheritance right in agricultural land from parents at par with brothers. Yes. Inheritance of the self-acquired agricultural land of her deceased husband. Yes. All of the above. D is the answer. Next 20, Section 25 of the Hindu Marriage Act provides for permanent alimony and maintenance. B is the answer. Custody of children कहाँ पर है? 26 में. Maintenance parental 24 में. Division of matrimonial property, it is in 27. Next 21, a Hindu wife had been living with her children and all the children had been brought up by her without any assistance and help from the husband many years. The wife was entitled to separate residence and maintenance under section 18(2)(f), D, A or G of Hindu Maintenance Act. Under section 18(2)(a) of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. C is the answer. Next 22, imposition of compensatory cost in respect of false or vexatious claims or defenses is dealt under 35A of CPC. B is the answer. Next is 23, which provision under the code of CPC, which provision under the CPC deals with substituted service of summons upon defendant? That is Order 5 Rule 20. C is the answer. Next 24, the question is whether A owes B rupees 10,000. Which of the following statement are relevant under the fact that A asked C to lend him money? Yes, it is relevant. D said to C in A's presence and hearing, I advise you not to trust A. He owes B 10,000 rupees. This is also correct. A went away without making any answer. It is also correct. So all of the above. D is the answer. और ये कहाँ mention किया गया है? This is illustration G in section 8 of Evidence Act. Next 25, so much of such information, whether it amounts to a confession or not, as relates distinctly to the fact thereby discovered by the police, may be proved under section 27. C is the answer. Next 26, when the court has to form an opinion upon a point of foreign law or the science or art, or as to identity of handwriting or fingerprints or opinion upon that point persons specially skilled in such foreign law science or ये so and so so and so. This is under section 45. B is the answer. एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन की बात कर रहे हैं ना, ये 45 में है वो. नेक्स्ट 27. अकॉर्डिंग टू एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, एनवायरमेंटल पोल्यूटेंट मीन्स any solid, liquid or gaseous substance present in such concentration as may be tend to be helpful. No, pollutant कैसे होगा फिर वो? Injurious to environment. ऑल होंगे सॉलिड लिक्विड का, यहाँ पर से ओनली गैसेस लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पर सॉलिड एंड लिक्विड लिखा हुआ, तो ये तीनों हो गए रॉन्ग. सी इज द आंसर. और डेफिनेशन कहाँ प्रोवाइड की गई है एनवायरमेंटल पोल्यूटेंट की? इन सेक्शन 2B ऑफ एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. Next 28. NGT cannot exercise its jurisdiction with reference to वाइल्ड लाइफ पे है, वाइल्ड लाइफ पे नहीं है, ये शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब एंड अदर ट्रेडिशनल ये इस पर नहीं है, पब्लिक लायबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस पर ये इस पर है. तो डी इसका आंसर रहेगा, बोथ ए एंड बी. नेक्स्ट 29. एन अटेम्प्ट टू एक्वायर सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन सच एज यूजर नेम, पासवर्ड, क्रेडिट कार्ड डिटेल्स बाय masquerading as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication is known as phishing. C is the answer. Next 30. The plea bargaining is applicable only in respect to those offences for which punishment of imprisonment is up to 7 years. A is the answer. अभी प्रोविजन बता ही दिए थे 265 से 265A से 265L तक. Next 31. From a plain reading of section 195 CRPC, it is manifest that it comes into operation at a stage when the court intends to take cognizance of an offence under section 191 CRPC, and it has nothing to do with the statutory power of the police to investigate into FIR which disclose a cognizable offence. In other words, the statutory power of the police to investigate under the code is not in any way controlled or circumscribed by the section 195. This was held by Supreme Court in which case? Raj Singh versus State. B is the answer. Next 32. Indemnity contract is defined in section 124 Contract Act. A is the answer. Next 33. Peak versus Gurney is famous case related to fraud. B is the answer. Next 34. Which provision under CRPC deals with the procedure to be adopted by magistrate to record confession and statement? 164. B is the answer. Next 35. Attachment of property of person absconding can be done under section 83. A is the answer. 82 में तो इसको प्रोक्लेम करेंगे ना, अटैचमेंट 83 में हो जाएगी. नेक्स्ट 36. मैजिस्ट्रेट may dispense with personal attendance of accused under section 205. C is the answer. Next 37. Supreme Court invoked the principle of transformative constitutionalism in the case of Navteej Singh Johar versus Union of India. A is the answer. Next 38. The provisions of IPC apply also to any offence committed by any citizen of India in any place without and beyond India. It is correct. Any person on any ship, aircraft registered in India, wherever it may be, yes. Person in any place without and beyond India committing offence targeting a computer resource located in India. All of the above. D is the answer. And this is mentioned in section 3 and 4 of IPC. Next 39. Section 105H CRPC deals with the definition of forfeiture of property in certain cases. A is the answer. Next is 40. Bar to taking cognizance after lapse of the period of limitation is dealt under section 168 CRPC. D is the answer. Next 41. Decree holder means any person in whose favor a decree has been passed or an order capable of execution has been made. A is the answer. Where it is defined section 2(3) of CPC. 2(2) में क्या है? डिक्री की डेफिनेशन है, डिक्री होल्डर उसके बाद आ गया. Next 42. Under the Patent Act, which of the following are not patentable? A method of agriculture or horticulture? It is not. Representation of information? No. Topography of integrated circuits? No. All of the above. D is the answer. और ये कहाँ पर मेंशन किया गया है? मेंशन किया गया है चैप्टर 2 सेक्शन 3 ऑफ पेटेंट्स एक्ट में. Next 43. WIPO has replaced pre-existing GAT और BIRP और TPRM या फिर PCT. BIRP. B is the answer. This was a French term, Bureau de International. अगर उसको हम इसमें करेंगे तो यूनाइटेड इंटरनेशनल ब्यूरो ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टीज. Next 44. Anwada Bhasin versus Union of India relates to challenge under Article 32 of the Constitution seeking issuance of appropriate writ for setting aside order of government which all modes of communication including internet has been shut down in J&K. Yes, it is that. A is the answer. Next 45. Section 66A of Information Technology Act was struck down under Article 19(1)A in the case of. अरे बताओ, पहला क्वेश्चन जब ये पूछा हुआ था, देखो फिर से पूछ लिया. एक ही पेपर में 2 क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं सेम टू सेम. डी इज द आंसर. श्रेया सिंगल वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया. नेक्स्ट 46. Article 145(3) of the Indian Constitution states that the minimum number of judges who are to sit for the purpose of deciding any case involving a substantial question of law as to interpretation of this Constitution or for the purpose of hearing any reference under Article 143 shall be 5. C is the answer. Next 47. The utility of TIL is liberalized locus standi. Yes. The proceedings are non-adversarial. Yes. Procedural requirements are liberalized. Yes. All of the above. D is the answer. Next 48. The petitioner, a professor of political science who had done substantial research and deeply interested in ensuring proper implementation of the constitutional provisions, challenged the practice followed by the state of Bihar in re-promulgating a number of ordinances without getting the approval of the legislature. The court held that petitioner as member of public has sufficient interest to maintain that petition. कौन सा केस था ये? It was DC Wado versus State of Bihar. B is the answer. Next is 49. Where legal wrong or legal injury is caused to a person or to a determinate class of person by reason of violation of any constitutional or legal right or any burden is imposed on contravention of any constitutional or legal provision. So and so, so and so, so and so. आप पढ़ सकते हैं इसको, पॉज करके वीडियो को देख लीजिए. किसने कहा था? जस्टिस भगवती इन द केस ऑफ PUCL या फिर अशोक कुमार पांडे या फिर SP गुप्ता वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया. सी इज द आंसर. नेक्स्ट 50. द डेफिनेशन ऑफ मनी अंडर GST लॉ डज नॉट इंक्लूड लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट है. यस. करेंसी हेल्ड फॉर न्यूमिस्मेटिक वैल्यू. नो, ये नहीं है. पे ऑर्डर ट्रैवलर चेक. यस. B is the answer. Next is 51. Under Article 279A, GST Council is constituted by the President. C is the answer. Next 52. The definition of contract is defined under Section 2H of the Indian Contract Act. B is the answer. 2A में क्या है? ऑफर प्रपोजल की डेफिनेशन है. 2D में क्या है? कंसिडरेशन की डेफिनेशन है. 2G क्या है? वॉइड agreement. Next 53. Voluntary throwing or attempting to throw acid is an offense punishable under section 326B of IPC. A is the answer. 120B में क्या है? कॉन्स्पिरेसी की पनिशमेंट है. 509 outraging the modesty of women है ना. 295B it is no section. Next is 54. A is at work with a hatchet and the head flies off and kills a man who is standing by. Here, if there was no want of proper caution on the part of A, his act is not an offense. C is the answer. And this is an accident and it will fall under the general exception chapter 4 and section 80 of IPC. Next 55. A. With the intention of causing Z to be convicted of a criminal conspiracy, writes a letter in imitation of Z's handwriting purporting to be addressed to accomplice in such a criminal conspiracy, and puts the letter in a place which he knows that officers of the police are likely to search. A has committed an offense of fabricating false evidence, and this is illustration C in section 192 IPC. So B is the answer. Next 56, India, that is Bharat, shall be union of states. C is the answer. कहाँ प्रोवाइड किया गया? Article 1 in the Constitution. Next 57, in MC Mehta vs Union of India, Shriram Fertilizers case, the court held that in escape of toxic gas, the enterprise is strictly and absolutely liable to compensate all those who are affected by the accident, and such liability is not subject to any of the exception which operates vis-a-vis the tortious principle of strict liability. This is totally correct. And it's mentioned escape of dangerous animal, no. Toxic gas, strictly tortious liability. And C में mention कर रही subject to any of the exception, no. A is the answer. आप ये देख सकते हैं options. Company corporation is not a state, no. Next 58, under section 70 of Indian Contract Act, where a person lawfully does anything for another person or delivers anything to him, not intending to do so gratuitously, and such other person enjoys the benefit thereof, the latter is bound to make compensation to the former in respect of or to restore the thing so done or delivered. The principle is known as quantum merit. C is the answer. Next 59, agreement is a promise or set of promise forming consideration for each other. A is the answer. Where the definition section 2E of Contract Act. यहाँ ये consideration 4 आना चाहिए, यहाँ 2 लिखा हुआ है, definition में 4 है. Next 60, under the Land Acquisition Act, the expression land includes benefit to arise out of land, things attached to land, things permanently fastened, anything attached to land. All of the above. D is the answer. और डेफिनेशन कहाँ पर है ये? इन सेक्शन 2P ऑफ फेयर कंपनसेशन ऑन लैंड एक्विजिशन एक्ट. नेक्स्ट 61, टेम्पररी ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ वेस्ट और एरेबल लैंड प्रोसीजर व्हेन डिफरेंस एज टू कंपनसेशन एग्जिस्ट इज प्रोवाइडेड अंडर सेक्शन. देखिए दिस इज इन सेक्शन 81 ऑफ द फेयर कंपनसेशन ऑन लैंड एक्विजिशन एक्ट. तो ये ऑप्शन सारे यहाँ पर गलत हो गए. Next 62, sued by indigent person is dealt under Order 33. B is the answer. Order 44 is appeal of indigent person. Order 22 is in case of death, insolvency and marriage. Order 55 no order. Orders are up to only 51 orders, है ना? Next 63, res gestae, relevancy of facts forming part of same transaction is dealt under section 6. A is the answer. Next 64, among other things, the function of Bar Council of India includes laying down standards of professional conduct and etiquette for advocates. Which section is this? This section 7. A is the answer. किसका? Advocates Act का. Next 65, according to Justice Aibe, what are the 7 lamps of advocacy? Honesty, courage, professionalism, wit, eloquence, judgment and fellowship. या फिर honesty, courage, industry, wit, eloquence, judgment and fellowship. B is the answer. Next 66, minimum number of directors in a public company are 3. A is the answer. Next 66, an associate company in relation to another company means a company in which that other company has significant influence but which is not subsidiary company of the company having such influence and includes a joint venture company. B is the answer. And where is definition in section 2(6) of Companies Act. Next 68, the Supreme Court has legalized living wills and passive and euthanasia subject to certain condition in the case of Aruna Ramchandra Shanbog versus Union of India. A is the answer. Next 69, Article 310 of Constitution mentions about doctrine of immunities, legislative expectation, natural justice या फिर doctrine of pleasure with reference to civil servant. D is the answer. is क्यों लिख दिया इधर ये? Next 70, right to know the antecedents of the candidate in the election flow from 191A. A is the answer. Next 71, in the preamble of the Indian Constitution, the word liberty is followed by the words thought, expression, belief, faith, worship. B is the answer. Next 72, according to Income Tax Act, zero coupon bonds means a bond issued by any infrastructure capital company or infrastructure capital fund or public sector company or scheduled bank on or after 1st June of 2005, and फिर in respect of which no payment benefit is received so and so and by central bank में notification official gazette yes. All of the above D is the answer और ये कहाँ mention किया गया है section 248 of Income Tax Act में. Next 73, provision relating to GST are inserted in the Constitution by Constitutional Amendment Act of 101. A is the answer. Next 74, A is accused of waging war against the government of India by taking part in armed destruction in which property destroyed, troops are attacked, goals are broken open. The occurrence of these facts is relevant as forming part in a transaction, though A may not have been present at all of them. Under section 6, B is the answer. This is illustration in section 6 in Evidence Act. Next 75, section 110 of Indian Evidence Act deals with burden of proof as to ownership. C is the answer. Next 76, section 113A of the Indian Evidence Act deals with presumption as to abatement of murder or presumption as to abatement of suicide by married woman. A is the answer. Next 77, in which of the following case offense of sedition was in issue? In Queen versus Bal Gangadhar Tilak या फिर Hindu Dutt Mazumdar versus Emperor Kedarnath Singh State of Bihar. All of the above D is the answer. Next 78, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings of any class by insulting its religion or religious belief is an offense under section 295. A. B is the answer in IPC. Next 79, under section 29, a court of CJ may pass any sentence authorized by law except a sentence of death, imprisonment for life and exceeding 7 years. All of the above D is the answer. Next 80, provision regarding filing of suit by an alien under CPC is dealt under section 83. D is the answer. Next 81, an order issued by a court under CPC as per order 21 rule 46 for recovery of amount due to judgment creditor is known as garnishee order. B is the answer. Next 82, section 88 read with order 35 CPC deals with interpreter suit. A is the answer. Next 83, vis major means act of God. A is the answer. Next 84, according to classical doctrine of act of state in law of tort means an act of sovereign power of a country that cannot be challenged, controlled or interfered with by municipal courts, या फिर act of judiciary या फिर act of sovereign power that can be challenged. A is the answer. Next 85, in torts all person who aid or counsel or direct or join in committal of wrongful act are known as abettors या फिर joint tortfeasors. Joint tortfeasors. B is the answer. Next 86, MC Mehta vs Union of India Shriram Food Fertilizers case relates to oleum gas leak. A is the answer. Next 87, AK Kripak vs Union of India relates to likelihood of bias. Bias pe tha case. A is the answer. Next 88, judicial control of delegated legislation may be exercised on the ground of doctrine of ultravirus, malafide, exclusion of judicial review. All of the above. D is the answer. Next 89, the principle of res judicata is dealt under section 11 of CPC. 9 में क्या है? Suit of civil nature. 10 में क्या है? Res sub judice. Next 90, Section 14 CPC deals with presumption as to foreign judgments. B is the answer. Next 91. A residing in Delhi publishes in Kolkata a statement defamatory to B. B may sue in Delhi or Kolkata in any place, either in Kolkata or in Delhi. D is the answer, and this is illustration in section 19 of CPC. Next 92. Mere illegality of the strike does not per se spell unjustifiability. जस्टिस कृष्णा अय्यर ने कहा था ये कौन से केस में? गुजरात स्टील ट्यूब्स वर्सेस गुजरात स्टील मजदूर सभा. C is the answer. Next 93. A workman agreed by the order of dash may directly make an application to the labor court. Dismissal, discharge and retrenchment or otherwise termination of service. B is the answer. Next 94. The National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission was constituted in year 1988. A is the answer. Next 95. What is the limitation period applicable to 3 forums in entertaining a complaint under the Consumer Protection Act? देखिए नए एक्ट में जो है 1 year from डेट ऑफ कोज ऑफ एक्शन है ये, तो ये ऑप्शंस हो गए गलत. नया एक्ट 2019 का आ चुका है. Next 96. Under section 82 IPC, nothing is an offense which is done by a child under age of 7 years. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? डोली इन कपैक्स. Next 97. R versus Dudley and Stephen stands for the principle that killing an innocent life to save his own is not a defense and necessity cannot be pleaded as a defense against murder. This is correct. A is the answer. It relates to section 81 of IPC. Next 98. On and from the commencement of Hindu Succession Act in a Hindu joint family governed by Mitakshara law conferring on Dr. Kaparsani's status by substituting new section 4, section 6. A is the answer. Next 99. Section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act relates to conditions of Hindu marriage. D is the answer. Next 100. A marriage between a girl of 22 years marries her maternal uncle's son 23 years old in accordance with the Special Marriage Act. Such marriage is void. In spinda और in prohibited decree आ गए ना तो void हो जाएगी ये. C is the answer. कंडीशन जो लिखी हुई हैं सेक्शन 5 में वहाँ पर है ना ये इसमें. So friends, here we have discussed all the questions of All India Bar Examination AIBE 15. अगर आपको इसमें कोई कमी लगी हो, कोई सजेशन हो, कोई एडवाइस हो, कोई कमेंट्स हो, तो आप जो है कमेंट सेक्शन में जाकर भी लिख सकते हैं. वी ऑलवेज अप्रिशिएट योर कमेंट्स. एंड अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी और एफर्ट्स हमारे अच्छे लगे हो तो इसको जरूर लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ, सो दैट दे कैन कम टू नो अबाउट आवर चैनल एंड वो भी बेनिफिट ले सकें. एंड अगर आपको हमारे एफर्ट्स अच्छे लगे हो तो इन एडिशन टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब काइंडली गिव अस अ सुपर थैंक्स. सुपर थैंक्स इज अ वे टू अप्रिशिएट द कंटेंट क्रिएटर. आप जो है जो भी कंटेंट बनाता है उसको अप्रिशिएट करने के लिए कोई भी अमाउंट जो है डोनेट कर सकते हैं. फ्रॉम मिनिमम स्टार्ट्स विद 40 रुपीज. तो काइंडली गिव अस अ सुपर थैंक्स. So friends, thanks very much for watching this video. Thank you.